everybody. We'd like to welcome you to the Sear Peak Mindset. I'm your host, Sean Sear, and this is the place where we come to help individuals, leaders, and entrepreneurs, build their businesses, build their lives, have their dreams come true. And part of this show is having interviews with people who've already been successful in life. And today I have a great host. It's my first interview, sorry, a great guest, my first interview. It'll be with Luke Sear, survivor of PTSD, founder of the Luke Sear Foundation, and my brother. Hey, welcome to the show, Luke.
Great, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So what I'd like to do if I could, if you were here, I'm going to be kind of taken from other shows. I would actually have like a gift package for you, and I've got something in mind that I'm going to send your way. And the coolest part about this gift is it's something you're actually going to enjoy more because you've got to give it away. I'll leave it at that. Nobody, I think only Becky knows. No one else knows what I've got kind of planned up for it, but I'm going to get that done and get it out to you. And then
Perfect.
We'll see if it fits. So what I'd love to do is just get your background and your story, and you can start where you feel comfy. But if you could take a couple minutes and just sort of, tell us about yourself and things that were going on before you started the organization.
Yeah, so as my brother said, my name is Luke Sear, founder of Luke Sear Foundation. Before any of that happened, I was in a really dark place. After returning home from multiple tours overseas, every time I came home, it just got a little bit different. It got a little bit more sheltered, a little bit more, want to do things on my own. And I was just kind of sucked back into this really, really dark place. And when I say a dark place, it's not like I was somewhere scared. It becomes like almost like your best buddy, the last thing you feel like you can trust. It's very comforting because when things are feeling out of control and you run and hide off on your own, sure it'll give you a little bit of relief. But what it doesn't tell you, as you slowly back away from everybody and slowly embrace that darkness, eventually your back hits a corner and you got nowhere else to go. And that's what happened to me. I slowly over the years, it didn't happen overnight, but I slowly over the years continued to tell myself, I'm tired of being in pain. I'm tired of not sleeping. I'm just tired of so much. So I'm just going to live my life on the back wheel and cannot wait for this to be over. I just was just done. And that led up to October 30th of 2021. And I had convinced myself, no, it's time for me to go. It was the right choice. It wasn't like I was crying. I was like, no, I'm making the right choice. In my head and what the darkness had convinced me is that, I'm going to do my brothers a favor. My brothers have normal lives, they have families, and they can always tell good stories about me. And instead of watching this slow progression into like falling apart and watching this uncle who has always been boastful about being this war hero who fought for this country, and then I see myself in the mirror, and I was just completely ashamed. I didn't have a purpose, and I didn't want to go on. So, I thought it was okay to steal my mother and father's son from them. And that's the point of where you get to in life. And luckily, someone stepped in, saved my life. I ended up in a treatment center. And when I was in that treatment center, I had an opportunity to go on a caddy school for wounded soldiers over in Scotland. And when I left the treatment center, I still wasn't 100% convinced that this was going to help or this was going to be fixed. It wasn't until I got to Scotland and I found that the game of golf is one of the most therapeutic things you can do. You get exercise, you're out socializing with people. If you enjoy the game, you're having a good time. Because a lot of times when golfers will ask me, do you miss playing the game of golf? And I say, well, as a caddy, I kind of am playing. The only difference is I never get angry at the game of golf. I should have been a caddy my whole life. I used to let that game get me so down, and as much as I couldn't wait to do it, it always ruined my day. I don't know why. I was the worst putter in Canada, I think, arguably North America. I got to a point where I was giving myself 3 foot guineas. I was just like, no, I make those in my sleep. It
Yeah.
was a horrible, horrible thing. But becoming a caddy and actually using the therapy in that game and finding that purpose, it took me back to a spot. And after that first season, when I had returned home, I said, I got to do something where I can give everybody the same opportunities that I have.
Yeah.
Reach down in the darkness, pull those people back into the light, whatever we can. So ended up coming up with the idea for the Luke Sear Foundation, and here we are today.
Nice. Okay, so no one likes hearing the sad stories. I remember the first time I heard it because there were a few times I remember you reaching out to me for some difficult times, and I would reach back out or I would get in touch with some of the boys to come and check on you and do those things. But in October, it was different. I mean, I didn't find out about October until you actually did your first event in Sault Ste. Marie. So, did you reach out to anybody?
Yeah, when it first happened, because my emergency contact from the military that kind of just followed me around was mom. So it was the treatment center who had reached out to mom, and I thought mom's going to lose her mind and she's not going to take this well. But she was like a rock. Um,
Mm.
and even though I found out after the fact that when she was off the phone, she could she could control herself, but when she was on the phone, and I was so lucky. I was so lucky to have that. My cousin Alicia, I had reached out to her when I was away in the treatment center in Guelph, and it's now I'd be the first person to tell someone if you're struggling, reach out. It's not embarrassing, but even after the fact that, and I know how hard it is to do those kind of things and talk about these things. That's why I do it, and it is difficult, but um, I wasn't ready to tell anybody. Still, like right away, like it still had to be a secret because the shame that was I tried to work through. It wasn't until I realized by telling my story and letting other people know that that's how you start the healing process with people. Because if I treat it like an elephant in the room, everybody's always going to treat it like an elephant in the room, and it's always going to be that thing that we just cannot talk about. And that's why I want to remove that stigma. And I know after this interview, I'm going to think about stuff, but I'm strong enough to get through that kind of stuff now. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, and this is what year is it? 2026.
Yeah.
4 years later, almost 4.5 years later. So, no, it's a struggle, but I'm glad this is what we're doing here today because hey, if we help one person, like I always said, if you save one person, you save the world.
Yeah. Well, I know the show is about success, and I'm glad you were not successful in October. And I'm super proud of you for the stuff you're doing now and moving forward. I feel you on the difficulties of the things that we have to go through. Maybe one day I'll share my 2 cents on here as well for the story. I don't want to dwell on that stuff though, because I mean that sort of gives us the baseline. But I think to kick things off, maybe if we switch gears and switch it to I find it the funnier side is the actual uh, brainstorm, the aha moment of I keep referring it to it as that whitey tighty meeting. But can you just tell everyone the story of kind of how you come up with this Luke Sear Foundation idea? I get it. Other people have heard it, but I think this is pretty cool.
Yeah. So how it first started, I after my first season here, I definitely wasn't going back to Petawawa Chalk River area, so I had ended up back in Sault Ste. Marie, and I didn't know what to do, and then I had gone out for lunch, and two of the people there are going to be the two better looking people in Sault Ste. Marie. So there was me, my aunt Sasha, and then also my uncle Dave was there. So I had to throw that in there, UD. And then we just started piecing this thing together, and I wanted to find a way how can I help people get to this, and my uncle got behind it, and then we started piecing these things together. And we worked on this, and he pointed me in the right direction, and we ended up with yeah, the Luke Sear Foundation, and we've watched it grow, and I'm learning every day. I'm learning that yeah, everything's a great idea, and everything looks like it's going to be amazing when it's all said and done at the end. But then next thing you know, you didn't fail, but it's not how you dreamed it up, and you just find a way to work harder and keep moving. But
Nice.
I remember sitting around with Uncle Dave, like you said, and you talk about the tidy whitey parties where I, I remember staying over at their place, and we had the bed sabotaged, and I found up on the floor. He's in his underwear trying to help me up, and I had my arm in a sling because of my shoulder, and oh, and then sitting around talking about this foundation there in our underwear, and it's just like, oh my god. But that's how we ended up pulling it off, and it was I don't know, it just kind of pieced together that one winter, and we've watched it grown, and I think when the Luke Sear Foundation first started doing what we were doing, it was a hat in hand approach to this. We were taking in monies, and we were getting monies to these two charities that really helped me. But now we're moving, not, we're still taking donations, but we're trying to do a lot more hands on. We're doing some great initiatives. We did No One Eats Alone on Christmas Day here in 2025. We're doing this Healthy Body, Healthy Mind Challenge to start off 2026. I have a hashtag Carry the Bag. We're going to help educating a lot of the youth as we move forward with that. We have a fishing trip for military veterans, first responders here in Cabot, showing those guys, they come here to caddy, we're going to take them fly fishing out here on the East Coast and give them a different option. Maybe so they're not just solely relying on caddying as their help with their mental health and their struggles. We have a couple of midsummer bashes, and we're just gonna keep rolling and always try and do things to spread the word and to, like I said, help remove that stigma that coincides with mental health.
Okay. Maybe a question. I already, it's interesting because I already know these answers, but it's still good to know. Like, who do you serve, right? Like, who are the people? What's the demographic? What's the group or groups that you're reaching out to the most?
The most like for the reach that we have right now are military veterans and first responders. But the one of the great things I had heard, Pro had come up here to Cabot where I'm caddying, and they were talking about, and this is great what you're doing and all this stuff, and he had mentioned you cannot believe what you're doing for the game of golf, and he said that your story's out there and people are seeing how therapeutic the game of golf is and how it helps people and how important that game is and how it helps to build the game. So not only are we helping military veterans and first responders of those people who are struggling, but we're also reaching out to individuals who might not know about the mental health, telling the stories, and those people could be in a position to help people as well. So I know a lot of people have left here, and I'm still in contact with them over the last 4 years, saying how they're always reaching out, or they have a cousin, and they send the cousin who's emailing me, and I'm talking to this cousin or this nephew or the son or whoever. So we're helping a lot of military veterans, first responders, but that's not just our main, like our demographic, because it's kind of building out from that. Our main concern right now is helping in those organizations, but I think our message is being spread farther.
Okay. So maybe we can continue down that path. So what are the things that you're doing to get your story out there? Like, I know you caddy, and you've shared that you share your story, and then I guess people find out, and then they actually specifically ask for you to be the guy in the bag for the day or two. So what does that look like?
Yeah, so for me, when this started out, it's just you tell one person, and then you hope that one person tells two, two becomes four, four becomes eight, eight becomes 16, and the message spreads that way. But with the help of my cousin Mark, we've really taken over the social media side of things, where we're on all the main things. We've also collaborated with other organizations, Bag Without Barriers, um, and Life for Veterans, organizations like that. So we piggyback alongside their network, and we do the same for them. There's I think three or four articles in magazines and golf magazines about me. There's interviews, there's documentaries, and all these different things is I use my network and other people's network to share that information and to get it out there. Because I learned one thing for sure when you have all these dreams and stuff. When I had the foundation started out, I realized now that I'm not going to be at year 20 in year 2, even though I thought that's how it was going to work. But I just slowly watching this build and how well it's doing so far. So I'm excited to see where it's going to end up. That's for sure.
Nice. Yeah, dreaming big and then one step at a time to hit that thing.
Yeah.
Love it. So when you first had the idea to start the organization, so you're talking about the big dream. Year 20 won't be happening in year 2. You're pushing for that, but what was the vision? Like, what did you actually see happening ultimately with your foundation?
For the foundation, when I first seen it, I'd seen us build, and I used to joke about building. Everybody's with all the soldiers that are slowly coming out here, joining the yard because Cabot opens. They take us in with open arms. It's unbelievable their support for the Catesco soldiers, and I think there's been 16 of us graduates who have come here through the program. But one of my dreams was to spread this word and always joke with people. I said, watch out, we're building a small little army out here on the East Coast. And it's great to see the revival of veterans who were lost, first responders who were lost. But with the foundation, I want to see almost hearing my story is not something where people are going to be shocked or they're going to want to hug you or they're going to it's going to be have a conversation and it's going to be how you're going to educate people. Get to that point and do whatever it takes to get to that point. But yeah, for the Luke Sear Foundation, I just want to just keep seeing the growth and just trying to help as many people as we can along the way.
Nice. So what do you think the real problem, or maybe a couple problems, are that you're trying to solve with your organization? I know addressing PTSD is one, but like, what are you hoping to as an end result for everybody?
I just want people to realize to not rely on the darkness because our mission statement is giving those who retreated to the darkness a chance to embrace the light. And it's our goal is to keep pushing and always going over and over and over and over and never really stopping our message and never doing nothing until that message gets out there to people and they realize that comfort and that darkness is not. It's a ruse. It's a play, and it's gonna suck you in. You know what I mean? It breaks my heart to this day, hearing that so and so had taken their life. And it's like, oh, if I could have. I can't dwell on that. I could have. It's
Yeah.
helping the ones who are still here, and to just never stop trying. I think if you ever just gave up or got frustrated, I think that would do more damage than anything. Where they say um, pain is temporary. You know what I mean? Eventually it'll go away and something else will take its place. But if you quit, however, it'll last forever.
Yep.
So I just think just keep going and if at the end when this is all said and done, if there's only 10 people I save, well, those 10 people, who knows? You know what I mean? They gave, like, they're still with their family. There isn't that chair at the Christmas table at the dinner table at Christmas that no one sits in because that's where Luke's at. We just don't sit there. We don't sit there. You know what I mean? Well, that chair is going to be Luke's going to be sitting there annoying everybody. He thinks he's the funniest guy in the room, but he's not. But it doesn't matter. They're going to rather hear his madness and his and the nut that he is than to just tell stories about him. I think.
I think we want to hear that little organ
Well, the juice are chicken
instrument.
tree.
Chicken trade. You know what we'll do? We'll record that video one day. We'll just post it by itself up on the channel. It'd be great.
100%.
Hey, listen. So you started off, and you had your vision, your goal, the dream, what it was. Has it changed at all since you started? Has it gotten bigger, more specific, anything like that?
Uh, yes, because when I first started this thing, I told Monique, and she's from the Robbie Dean Center, and I said, in my first year, don't worry, Monique, I'm going to do everything in my power to try and raise you $5,000. I go, I don't care if I got to take the money out of my savings account to make it up to that 5,000, but I will get you $5,000. And we ended up getting them 12.5. So, which was super exciting. So until you realize, well, when I go at this next year, I got to do better than 12.5, which we did at 17.5 the next year. And then it's like, oh no, now we really got to do much better. And this year we were able to give them 40. So I don't know, maybe next year. We're still aiming for these big donations, and they're wonderful and they're great for headlines. But I think it's more important this year that I never seen a Luke Sear Foundation doing is becoming someone with the hands-on approach. I always thought it would just be raising money, giving the money to somebody else, and letting them handle it. Well, now you see the impact and you see the success stories and how those guys that I have on my team now, they want to help, and we're just building this small little multiplying army of saved souls, and it's doing great. So always aim to be bigger. I know one thing. I don't think I'm that type of person who settles for, okay, no, I'm content to coast. I never have that. I always have these crazy ideas, and I just want to see what I can do with them. And so the foundation is at a point, and it's going into its fourth year, that I never even thought it would even get to that point where we're going to take a hands-on approach.
Nice. Love it. So I'm going to change gears on you really quick because you got started, and like you said, year 20 doesn't happen in year two. But when you got started, what were a couple of things that you had to overcome, some obstacles that kind of got in the way that maybe you didn't see or you did, but you had to get through anyway?
Um, the first, the biggest obstacle is to become a name. I found that so difficult. I had the luxury of being out here caddying for a lot of the bigger, wealthier people in the world. So being able to attach to their networks and attach to Cabot's brand and always tag them, I had that luxury. But I think if I didn't have the luxury of being able to become a name when it came to organizations like TD Bank and KPMG that wants to work with us, and all these other different organizations that get behind it. It's just you gotta be able to build that name and that brand. I think that's the most difficult thing, and also is the stress and the pressure of following through with my ideas. I think one of the biggest things I have to do is not think super big. Um, I have the luxury of a lot of people helping me when they volunteer and stuff like that. But if I didn't have them, I can be putting too much on my plate, and especially struggling with mental health injuries. I really have to really dial back my expectations when it comes to whatever I think I'm going to pull off with the foundation, because I have to factor so much in. It's not just it's not like I'm cured of PTSD. I know a lot of people see I always call it the politician side of me, where I'm out there and they'll probably think he's perfectly normal until he comes home and he's on his way home, or he does something nuts, or he's at home screaming and yelling, or I just don't want to do nothing. I'm going to shut down for a day and trying to big myself out of it. People don't see that side of things. So I really have to lower my expectations when it comes to some of these ventures that I want to take on.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I do sessions every 2 weeks with someone I trust, and they remind me, what is the word? He calls PTSD, he treats PTSD more like an injury
Mhm.
than something that can hang you up, but he reminds you that, it's one of those injuries that'll have a long lasting, part of you. So you learn to kind of work through that and with it and manage it, as opposed, it doesn't just go away. It's not like a cold that leaves. So it's something you got to work through. So maybe if I can focus on that for just a second, like, can you think of a time, when you were starting to push forward and then something came up and it seemed like, okay, I can't get through this. I don't want to push through this, but you you have something you did or said or who knows what, but you actually led yourself through it anyway to the other side.
Yeah, 100%. That was this past season. This past season where I was donating every dollar in caddying, and I had this crazy idea again to walk from Inverness, Nova Scotia, to my hometown of Sault Ste. Marie, but only being tracked while on the golf course. And that's was insane because I ended up walking like 2,508 kilometers or whatever when it was said and done. It was like I ended up getting past the Sioux, but there were so many times that summer if I didn't have my girlfriend Tanya to be there for me, I remember getting up out of bed, my body seizing, falling on the floor, and like my body seized, like my arms seized too, so that when it hit the floor was my face. And there's times where I just couldn't barely get out of the car, or I was crawling, or my feet felt like I was walking on glass, but I never wanted to stop, and I never gave up. So both my grandmothers have passed away, and they were two different types of individuals, I guess. People, always see my mother's granny as the angel on my shoulder. It's okay, everything's okay, you're gonna do it. Just keep it up, keep up the hard work, because that's how she would talk to me. But my dad's mom, she's a little more aggressive. So when I really wanted to give up, I turned to my mom angel, and she said, "Get up, you son of a bitch, or I'll kick your ass across the room." And so I use
Yeah,
that, and honest to God, and when it's days of like I'm gonna call in. I just can't do it. And I could hear her. You could probably hear her voice, Sean, as I'm saying that. Where I'm telling you one thing right now, you're getting up. You're gonna keep moving.
that's right. I don't want to get kicked.
I'm glad someone would be getting me.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times I think of my buddy Scotty. Scotty was murdered overseas by terrorists, and poor Scotty didn't have a choice. And there's days where I'm sure no matter how sore he was or whatever, if he was here on Earth right now, he'd be, you know, maybe going for a run with his daughter, or who's an amazing Army cadet in Petawawa, probably joining the military as well. So um, he didn't have a choice. So I did have a choice. My choice was to help people, and I'm so happy that I never did give up. There was never a day I'm like I just can't do it. I can't do it. I powered through every single day because I knew sitting here in January, if I had taken a couple days off, I'd be kicking myself right now. So I'm glad I didn't take those days. And but yeah, when you're talking with the struggles and something like that, oh my God, I didn't know what I was thinking. Like even for Tanya to still be with me, like that's basically telling her for 6 months, my priority is the golf course. I'll see you around. Oh, and by the way, when I'm at my worst, you better be there to help me up. And and she's a saint amongst humans, and I'm so lucky to have had her support and help. But it just goes to show you, like, no matter how strong you think you are, um, if you think you're going to be able to do this alone, it's not going to work. You need some sort of help, support, something, something to lean on. It could be anything, right? I remember calling mom on the phone and just I'm struggling, you know what I mean? And to just tell, like, it's easy to tell mom because I didn't want to give dad the satisfaction of telling him how much pain I was in. So he's like, "How's it going?" "Good, good. Yeah, I'm powering through." I call mom. I'm like, "Oh my God, mom, I feel like my feet are on fire." Oh, she goes, "You should take some time for yourself." And well, I'll tell you one thing, mom. If I told you that, you'd tell me to shut up because you never take. She's going to die with a hammer in her hand or a shovel or something like that. That she doesn't know when to
Yeah.
stop. So I was
Right.
just like, I can't really listen to her because she wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's extremely difficult, and like going for like for some of these ideas that like I really wanted hashtag carry the bag to end up in every school, to be taught to every kid and all that stuff, but that's an unrealistic goal for right now. So slowly trying to build, and I'm going to build off of this island and work west, uh, and really dumb down that expectations. Maybe hashtag carry the bag will be a thing in 10 years. But right now, I think it serves that purpose where that social media, where sometimes that's all people are looking at that day. They're not going to see their friends. They're just locked in their house. They're on social media. But then they see that video of someone to let them know that they're not alone today, and they're not struggling. I hope it can help. Like you never know. Maybe if someone will reach out one day and say, "Hey, you saved my life because my niece said this to me," and whatever. I don't know. Um, but yeah, just really thinking about, like I said, year 20 doesn't happen in year two. So I hopefully hashtag carry the bag develops, and now we just keep doing great things.
Man, you keep pushing like you do, it'll happen regardless, just out of the hard grind. That'll go. So, I mean, you said something earlier, and then just recently that kind of reminded me of, you talked about like keeping the reins on yourself or having something that keeps you in check so you don't go too far crazy with the ideas because there's so much that's got to get done. And then you mentioned telling Tanya, like, for the next 6 months, you're number two to the number one golf course. And then I remember being at the last event. And I mean, I apologize for being such a bad golfer on the final day that we had to zigzag the entire course, but we won.
Yeah,
We won the cup.
got me an extra 7K.
Um, I'm sorry. But at that dinner, yeah, that's okay. You're alive. At that dinner, I do remember you changing your words right for Tanya that she was number two for 6 months. She'll never be number two again. So I thought that was a pretty special moment.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is Tanya one of those people that helps you? You know, you bounce those ideas, and then she's like, "Hey, remember, if your volunteers don't come, the grand scheme's got to be reeled in a little." Like, how do you go through that? Do you use her as a sounding board? Do you have other people? Do you just yourself? Like, what helps you kind of rein it in from I'm going for a 1,000,000 kilometer walk to okay, I can do 2,500 to get started.
Yeah, it's like it takes a village to raise a dummy or whatever. How does that thing go or whatever? But I do have
Village to raise a
I
child,
I
not
yeah,
a dummy.
I'm a dummy. So it takes it. I rely like and I have like and I call it my Cabot family, my original family, my blood family, and then I got my Inverness family, and I'm always rambling on about stuff I want to do, and people, and I'll listen to people when they talk and they're blah 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 blah. Like there's like, oh, I'm doing this and this, and they're like, all right, look, well, I'm just saying people have tried it before and it doesn't go, and then I'll try, it doesn't go. I'm like, okay, they were right. I should have listened to them originally. But yeah, I think one of my qualities, I guess, is I'm willing to listen to reason. I'll fight tooth and nail right to it, and then when someone explains something to me, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not one of those people. It's like I'm so stubborn. It's my way or the highway. Uh, I have a vision, but I'm also willing to let someone talk me through that's not going to work, man. I'm like, okay, not like no, 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 it's going to work. I'm willing to listen to reason, and I'm lucky, but I'll fight. Like that's the PTSD in us. We'll fucking start yelling and screaming. Don't realize who we're yelling and screaming at. Wait a second. Okay, take a breath. Oh, I was wrong. But not at the moment, not in that 30-second nuts madness because you just don't know how to switch off. But then you do when at least I know I can realize it. Oh yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, that's me. I'll own it. Not. Oh yeah. Whatever. No, that's on me. I own it. Whoops.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
put the ego aside. That's
I got
good.
it.
So let me. Well, I'll ask you this. So, like, how do you deal with maybe hearing the traumatic stories or dealing with people that, like, when I first learned that you had PTSD, I was trying to wrap my head around it. I couldn't figure it out. Meanwhile, there I am. I didn't even know I was suffering with it. So there's a different view. And I remember when I got my diagnosis, my guy says, "So, what do you think about your brother's PTSD now?" And I kind of, it changes how you see things. But beyond that, how do you, I don't want to say deal because deal sounds almost cheap, but get through moments where other people have, everyone has their story and what it is that's got them going, say down the darker path or toward the darkness. Like, do you, how do you get through that?
I get through. I learned one thing. It's it's great to listen, and I'll listen to people and then give them my 2 cents on things. And then usually the conversation never really wants to stay on that one person. So when it gives an opportunity to come to me, I dwell on the positives. It's this little trick I learned. Like you could sit there and say, "There's 99 negatives going on today. There's one positive. Well, if I just focus on that one positive for the most part and dwell on that one positive, I stay a little happier throughout the day instead of just being pissed off the whole time. Um, so
Gotcha.
when I share like some of the ways I cope and other ways I do things, but if people get right into telling war stories, like Tanya says, like she's got to yell at me across the room because I get up swinging, and it's just something you kind of just have to, I think, accept that that's what's going to happen. If you're going to put yourself in that situation, just realize there's probably a 70% chance that you're going to have a rough night. So if you're willing to be up for that rough night, do it. If the rough nights are getting to you, then you have to avoid doing it till you're strong enough to take those on.
All right. So when you, let's say you've had the down night or you've had the drain of energy because you've been given her, especially after that golf season, what do you do for you? Like what, you've emptied the cup, you've given her everything you got. What do you do to fill the cup back up? Other than focusing on the one positive thing each day.
I try and stay horizontal um, for a lot of things.
What do you mean?
Laying down, like in bed. Uh,
Okay,
you know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
Like now I've got this book I'm reading, or I do meditation stuff. But well, I don't know. Maybe because I'm 45 or 46 or 40, turning 46. But I
Yep.
love to rest my body, and then I'll sleep sporadically still throughout the night. But I just love resting my body. I'm not. I don't know this. Like some people are like, I gotta go garden or I gotta go do this. I don't gotta do any of that stuff. I gotta rest my body now. I love just doing a lot of me. You know, even sitting down,
Yeah.
scrolling through stupid memes that are only going to take 30, 40 seconds of my day, but some of them are funny. You know what I mean? This should have that enjoyment. Like, everybody's like, you don't get out and walk, get out and walk. You're not here what I do for a living. You don't go camping? Wait, go out camping? Do you not what I know what I did previously to be in a caddy? I don't want to go sit in the bush
Yeah.
with the bugs. Are you kidding me? So no, like for me, that's it's honest to God, it's rest and being, I guess you want to call it lazy in a way. You know what
All
I mean?
right.
Recharge the body.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
love doing.
Yeah. Well, I think there's probably a couple of other things too. So visionpoems.com.
Mhm.
Is that you?
Yeah,
That's you. Because I remember sitting at a Christmas get together and you asked everybody for a topic
yeah,
and we gave you a topic and a theme. What'd you do? You started busting out poems in less than 10 minutes person. Like,
yeah.
pretty
I
cool.
got this Rain Man strength when it comes to writing poetry. It's
Did you
strange.
say Rain Man strength?
100%. Like I remember, and then we were sitting there at the table, and I think people were, I could see them laughing. They're like, yeah, okay, all right, let's see what you can put together. And I knew I blew everybody away with the poem. And I knew
Yep.
I could write it under 10 minutes. I don't know how I can do it. Like I tell everybody before, they're like, "Oh my God, have you been big into English your whole life?" I start laughing. I'm like, "I got a 50 in grade 12 English, and that means it
Yeah.
was granted to me. If you got a 51, you got a 50. I mean, if you got a 50, you probably got a
Yeah.
28, which I probably got. But I was there every day. Good kid, tried hard. Heard he's joining the army. Let's get him the hell out of here." And I think that's what happened. So to be able to um, twist and manipulate words, and it's meaningful for people. I've seen people break down crying. They just, and it's just something that took me 5 minutes to write, and that people can't even believe that it only took you that long. That's why when we were sitting at the table, I went around and asked everybody, you just tell me, give me a topic and give me a couple statements about that topic, and here you go. So,
Yep.
no, it's,
Well, well.
I'm actually working with an author from the States, Rob Denny, and we're writing a book about the foundation. Basically what this interview was about, a little about my life, and then the struggles and where the foundation took us and stuff like that. So, uh, yeah, it's exciting for. I never really want to call myself a writer because I don't know. I don't know if I got the credentials. I don't got the marks to use that word. And without autocorrect, I don't know if I can
Yeah, yeah.
spell it. But um, I don't know. I guess I'm a people. You're a poet. You're a writer. Whatever. I guess you can say it's another way of.
You're doing it. You're published.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, I mean, speaking of tears, Nevaeh, so for those who don't know my daughter, one of my daughters is Nevaeh, and for a Christmas present, her boyfriend's sister was given one of your poems, which helped with, I think it was a reflection of her grandmother or something, and it brought her to tears pretty quick. So your poems will do that to some, make other people smile and laugh, and all those. Let me. Did you not appear as an Elvis somewhere? Can you tell that story? I think you've told me that story a couple of times. I had a good laugh.
Well, yeah, so here at in Inverness, or not just in Inverness on the East Coast, they do this thing called the dip on New Year's Day. Everybody in town runs into the ocean and then runs back out. Well, the first year I said I wanted to dress up, but I dressed up as like a caddy. And remember, I had a bad left arm. It doesn't really work that well. I got a 7-iron in that left hand. No, in my right hand. I run into the water, um, jump in. Anyway, the first caddy hat I ever got starts to float away in the ocean. I'm trying to swim with one arm and a 7-iron and catch that stupid hat. Everybody's coming out of the water, and then there's video. Everybody like, "Oh my God, where's Luke? Where's Luke?" And I'm thinking, I don't know if I was on my way to PEI or whatever, but I come popping out of the water, and I got this 7-iron, this stupid hat. I should just let it float away, and they're froze to death.
Yeah.
I'm running out of there, and it became a thing where I was going to get dressed up for these dips. So of course, got to get Mom on board, and when you give Mom an idea, she went all out, and she did me up an Elvis costume, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I had ended up doing the dip, but also I took the costume the next day, and there's an old age home here in Inverness, and I had gone around to all the residents, with the dementia and stuff like that, and um, I also do poetry at the manor. So I went back that afternoon, not dressed as Elvis, and one of the ladies had come down to my poetry and was trying to tell all the other people in the other group that Elvis had come to her today, and they were telling her she was nuts. And I was like, no way. She's looking at me. She's like, I'm telling you. I'm like, I believe you. I believe you, even though I know it was me. Um, but yeah, and then this year, my mom made me up a blue lobster costume for the dip. Due to weather and stuff, I wasn't able to get down there, but there's going to be a parade, so I'm going to dress up as the Blue Lobster, and I'll jump on someone's float. That's what this town's about. I love it. You just run and jump on someone's float; it won't matter.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, she kept asking, "Where? Hey, did anybody get any videos of Luke in the ocean with that lobster caught?" She really wanted to see it, so I was like, he had the flu.
yeah.
How's he supposed to move around that thing if he had the flu and that was going on? So, I mean, I've got like hundreds of questions here, Luke. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I had a few more I think I'd like if I could just to hammer down on them.
100%.
Say someone's coming to you, or they're not. Maybe they see this through some link or channel or something. What advice would you give someone who has a vision, but they're stuck in planning mode? So they're not ready, or maybe they're afraid to take that first step. Do you have any advice you'd give to someone just getting started and has that dream, that vision, that goal?
Yes, if you have that dream and that vision and that goal, and you find yourself stuck, or you're just like you're not sure how, surround yourself. Go find someone who knows what's going on. If it wasn't for my Uncle Dave helping me along the way and helping me get started, I would have never done anything like this, or I probably would have given up on it because I was just lost. Um, Find someone who can help you and that you can trust to give you advice. Um, but don't do not pull the trigger. You don't want to live with regret. I learned one thing now, like I said, 46, but 15 years trapped in the darkness. Um, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to do because I'm not living with any what ifs. Before I didn't care. No, you don't want to have that what if I didn't do it, because like the worst thing that could happen is you can fail. Well, who cares? If I wouldn't have failed, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah.
But you never know until you try. So
All right. Well, can you share maybe a success story with us that stands out to you?
yeah, one of the really good success stories is my. Everybody knows about my buddy Steve, but little know about my buddy Harps. And Harps was a graduate from the Caddy School for Soldiers, and he injured. He's from Ireland, and we ended up talking to him to coming over here that first season, and he was able to do 2 loops a week, and he was happy. He was just happy. He was out there looping. Um, we helped him along the whole season. Um, the next year, he was doing 5 loops a week, and he's just geared up. He came back this year, and he was doing up to 10 loops a week, sometimes twice a day. Uh, and he's so excited to come back and so thankful for what the Caddy School and the foundation has done. He's always sending me videos of him, and he calls them weens, I think. They're grandkids over in Ireland. Granddad, hey granddad, hey
Okay.
granddad. They're always running around. The guy's about 4'11", 110 pounds of just pure Irish gold. And I told him, I said, everybody in this town loves me, Harps, but if you ran for mayor, you know what I mean? I get one vote, and it would be my own. That's it. You know what I mean? Like like people love you, and he loves that. And to see this guy get his life back, because he was in a position where he was just done. He was just going to drink
Yeah.
himself into oblivion or take pain pills till he just didn't feel any pain no more. And now just to see him and talk to him and see how good life is for him and how he's wanting to help people, it's a huge success story. It's unbelievable.
Nice. So one of the things I like to chat with people about, or when we're doing things, is a reminder that it's good to have the goal and get clear on it and do all these things, take action, keep pushing, don't give up. And like you're saying, find a mentor, find someone that can help you go if you've never been down that path. A lot of people forget to just take a minute and either recognize what they've done or reward themselves in some way for what they've done. So if you were to take a second and kind of look back over all the different things that are going on, like what's something that you're really, really proud of other than starting a really cool foundation that's helping a lot of people? That's pretty generic, but is there a specific thing that to you would stand out?
Um, I I think one of the best things is talking to people that we're helping, especially during our Road to Resilience initiative. I had people come up to me, caddies come up to me, and just tell me, and they're not military first responders or suffering from any mental health, but they're like, just like you got me going today. I go, what? No, your videos you post. I was like, oh yeah, my cousin's got that social media. He goes, man, I just get up every day. I'm saying, what's he gonna do today? I mean, what's he doing today? Like this. Look at him go. I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to quit. Look at him. I'm not taking a day off. He's not taking a day off. And just to hear those people where I didn't even realize I was helping anybody. To me, it was I was putting in my day. This is what Mark wants me to do. I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah, and I'm gonna go caddy. Not really realizing the the impact I was having on my community here out at Cabot, and I'm sure going forward it'll always be that legacy that I put forth during the Road to Resilience initiative. That'll always be something that will help motivate not only myself but maybe motivate others as well. So I'm really proud of especially this last little go there in 2025. Really, not only put the foundation on the map. It proved not only to me, um, but everybody around me, even though on October 30th of 2021, I had quit. But now I'd never quit again.
Awesome. What's something that has like really surprised you about this whole journey?
I think that the biggest thing is this truly the support. Um, the more people you talk to, the more people are willing to talk to you. Um, like what I thought it'd be like a lot of things where it's like it'll just be something that oh, there's Luke Sear, not there's Luke Sear. What's his foundation up to? But when I see people, they go, "What are you up to now? Or what are you going to do? Or how did this event go?" So people are actually getting behind what we're doing. Sometimes they're not at all my events, or it is what it is. Like they support it or whatever. But people are engaged in learning about now how the foundation is trying to help people, and maybe it's going to point people towards us. It's going to motivate people to come and help us, even correct us if we're doing something wrong. A whole bunch of different things that are out there. So um, yeah, that's for me.
All right. So maybe this will be a tougher one, probably to answer. But how many people do you think you've helped out so far?
Ooh.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I've heard, like for me, someone told me thousands you've impacted just by the people who view and who share. Because not just for someone who is Luke Sear sitting on that couch in Chalk River on October 30th, I don't count that as that person I just helped. Yes, if I helped him, perfect. But if I also um, got someone talking about mental health that never talked about mental health before, that's another person you saved too. Anybody we've kind of brought along the way. So I think we've helped thousands, and now let's move on to millions. Why not? I still got time.
Why
I
not?
still got time. My buddy Mikey said, in all honesty, we were looking across the table at each other, and he goes, "Let's face it, Luke, you were on the back nine." He goes, "The way you lived your life, shit, you're coming off 13. You better three-putt your way in." I said, "Well, good thing I was the worst putter in North America, buddy."
Yeah. Take some time on the greens. How about we project a little to the future? What do you think the next 3 to 5 years kind of looks like for your foundation?
Um, I see us growing, um, like growing more and helping people. And I think the more people like we're kind of helping, it'll be like we'll start to see some of these ideas that are relying on just me to follow through with. People are going to take those ideas and they're just going to do them. Like a hashtag carry the bag might be in every province in the next 3 to 5 years, with someone just knowing the idea and running with it, not sanctioned by us or any of that stuff. Which it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to. Doesn't have to do with the Luke Sear Foundation. But I think just getting more people, and I can see us educating the youth a lot more, and them being more. Yeah, I think everybody being more receptive to having that conversation about mental health. Excuse me. I think that's where we see ourselves in the next 3 to 5 years. We'll have our charity status, and I know the money will always come in. We'll find ourselves new ways. Right now, we're helping the Catyscope for Soldiers, and we're helping the Robbie Dean Center. But we have also we have two scholarships we're giving away, and these that fishing trip and stuff that's kind of going to be going on. So I could just see those things just being kind of getting bigger and more people involved, and actually instead of just me doing something, I think there'd be more little Luke's Here Foundation type of events that are going on. I already seen it this year. A group from Montreal just went and ran something for me and made a $10,000 donation to the Robbie Dean Center on my behalf. So
Cool.
that's what I could
Nice.
see it going next 3 to 5 years, where it won't even be something I'm at. I don't have to like fly to BC for something. Someone's just going to go do something because everybody wins when it comes to uh, either raising money or raising awareness through the Lucia Foundation.
Absolutely. So, how do you think this work that you've been doing has changed you personally?
It's given me a purpose, that's for sure. It was a real eye opener after the first season, and I realized on that last day that now I don't get the caddy for 7 months. So it was a very depressing time. So by putting this foundation into my life, it's like my baby. I like to sit there and watch it grow. Um, love doing a lot of the events that we're doing. I love bringing awareness. So I think for me, it almost changed me into move from being a nomad to more of like I don't know what's the word for it. Where so someone I'm out there actively trying to engage with people and just trying to sit in the shadows. Um, and it's kind of brought me out of my shell. It taught me to be funny again. Uh, I think I'm the funniest person in the East Coast, so it doesn't matter to me. But I get other people
It's good
laugh.
to
I get
have
other
fun.
people laughing too sometimes. Um, and having this foundation, and as rewarding it is, it's taught me to think more about myself, my personal health, my mental health, to be more aware of that kind of thing, and to dream again. Uh, it's a nice feeling not to pick up the phone every day and hope the nukes are in the air and you got 15 minutes, make your peace with God, or to look forward to wondering, what's it going to be like when I'm 85 and me and Tanya are at dinner table screaming across the table to each other because we can't hear each other or whatever. But I can see that. I can see that dream, and not just, let's go now so I look good in the casket.
Yeah. So let's turn on a time machine and zip back to day one. You get to go back and talk to yourself for a couple of seconds there. And what would you tell you on day one after everything you've learned and experienced and seen and the ups and the downs? Like, what would you go back and give yourself for advice?
Lower your expectations. Lower your
Mm-hmm.
expectations. There was times in that first year I made some mistakes, and I was so down on myself. Luckily, I had Caddy to fall back on because it's all that's always brought me around. But if I just had that, with the expectations I put on myself, I don't know what would have happened to me or if I would have been successful. Um, so definitely set the bar. Don't set it on the ground. Set it as high, but don't set it too high, because
Okay.
nothing wrong with exceeding expectations. But when you don't meet them,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a depressant, especially. And if you're strong mentally and you can get through something like that, well, then that's not the advice you need. But the advice for Luke's here was definitely lower your expectations. This isn't going to be.
All right.
It's like I said. It's got to grow, and it's just not going to grow in 1 year. Where I assumed the word would have got out there, and this thing was going to be like it was on year 20. But no, I dialed myself back in and just started to see the wins and the gains and stuff like that, and that's what I hung my hat on. Um, it'll be just as successful next year, if not better.
Nice. And one of the things I like to look at is, sometimes we worry so much about the result, we forget that all we're really in control of is what we do, right? Our input. We can't really. I'm hoping for a Bruce Lee body by the end of this healthy body and mind challenge you and I and a bunch of people are doing. But I'm really happy if I just keep moving around well and not get all stoked up. Um, let's say someone's watching, they're listening, they get near the end here, or they just fast forward to see what we're up to at the end of the video. What what would you tell them? They say, you know what, I want to start something. I have this idea and I want to get started. What would you tell
If they want to get started, make sure
them?
you know every single thing you're getting into, from the legal side of things to the financial side of things, to if you got to plan venues and what that's going to take. Do all your research. If you have a great idea, and just pick it apart until you're happy with what you're gonna have going forward, and then go forward with it. But if you think, oh, okay, I got this great idea to do this, okay, but you're not factoring all the other stuff, you could get in over your head and then realize this isn't for you, and end up walking away from something that could be the greatest thing that could have happened to you, if you would have just had patience and done it properly. Look at me telling people
Okay.
to have patience.
And you of all, yeah, patience.
I go
Okay.
to spell
Hey,
it, I don't have it.
what what's the most important thing you want listeners to take away from your story?
The most important thing is, that no matter how far down in the darkness you go, there's a way back into the light. Because it wasn't like it was like, oh, I was thinking about this. I got lucky. Someone walked into that house. I had taken the pills and I laid down. Just as I laid down on that couch, someone walked in the house. If that person doesn't walk in the house, it wasn't like I called 911. I found a way. I found the light. All this stuff. I got lucky. So no matter how bad it gets, do not give up, because you think there's no chance. No, that was me. And now me standing before you, look at me go. You never know the impact of a saved life. I always say, if you want to take your life, it's like the stone you're going to drop. That's going to go into a bucket of water. It's going to go straight down to the bottom. You're not factoring in all the ripples, because the ripples will affect everything. So do not make any rash decisions. Take my story, a strength and survival, and mirror it, share it, and who knows the life you could save.
Awesome. I got two more questions. I said to you on the phone that I would like to borrow from a couple of things, and this one comes from another podcast, and it's, getting to ask one forward. So you don't know who the next guest is,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you can ask them anything. It can be off the wall if you want. Like I said, I like to work on the things that are going to help people succeed and overcome stuff. So if there's a question you can ask the next guest, what would you want to ask them?
If you That's that's tricky for someone who doesn't. I never stop
Yeah.
talking. Hey, that's what I ask. So this is it's people's success and all these things. What would I want to ask somebody? When it comes to what you're doing, um, is your goal um, independent success or a success more of helping people, like your own individual success, or I guess the success of the community? What's more what's more important to you?
Okay. All right. I'll phrase that one up, and guest number two is getting that question. So if someone sees this and they realize, well, I won't even tell them what guest number they are. I'm not going to let anybody
Yeah.
cheat and do some homework. That'll be the surprise question. Um, all right. So where can people find your organization? Where can they learn more? And what are you up to?
Yeah, so for the Luke Sear Foundation, you can follow us, go to our website at lukesearfoundation.org. It has everything you need to know about the foundation, the charities that we're supporting, the things we're doing, any type of media stuff that's been done on us, the documentaries that are done on me. I'm sure this podcast will eventually end up on there. Yeah, head to our site. And like for the Luke Sear Foundation, how in 2026, we got the Healthy Body, Healthy Mind Challenge. And it's go on our social media, see what we're up to. If it's not something for you, maybe it's something you can share with somebody else so they can come in and get help. We're doing hashtag carry the bag and launching that in May. And that's basically like the ice bucket challenge. What you do is you get on social media and you let somebody know. Last year, I'd walked for my brother Sean Sear, a police officer in Sault Ste. Marie, suffering from PTSD. But I want to let you know, Sean, that the struggles that you have, I'm going to help you carry those struggles today. I'm going to help you carry some of that weight, just to let you know that you're not alone today. And that's what basically hashtag carry the bag is. Like I said, we got our fishing trip for military and first responders coming up. We have a midsummer bash. We have an end summer bash. And there's talk right now. I might be going to Trenton in March to speak at the military base there. So there's a lot on the go, and we're just going to keep pushing forward with these initiatives that we're doing, and just try to help as many people along the way.
Awesome. Awesome. Listen, so message out to everyone that's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you were able to take a few things from that. I'm certainly got some notes I'm going to make after for things I can do. Luke, thanks so much for being guest number one, sharing that time, and being honest and upfront about everything that's out there. And I really appreciate the time.
Love you too, man. Good luck.
All right.